for now. So what I want to do now is I have actually a level that I already prepared that I wanted to do. It looks like this. I'm just going to show that real quick. So I hope everyone can see that kind of. Yep, looks like that. So we got the, it's basically symmetric. So we got one player on the top here, we have one player on the bottom, right here. And then basically the arena where our meet is going to be in the middle. So they can kind of get started here, and then they probably end up meeting here. And then in the middle I have the universe basically showing through, so that it kind of looks cool, right? It'll look cool when we have the parallax effect that you probably already saw. And then I was thinking of maybe over here on the right here, basically adding a way where people can go in, and if they make it in there, it's going to be some, some shield is going to be hidden there, and maybe a med kit. So that's the plan. And so basically what I'll do, I'll prepare this. For now, we'll start with just the top. And actually, I'm going to count real quick how many tiles I have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. So I got 22 on top there. So that's what we'll start with. So 22. And actually, you know what? I'm going to, even though it seems like interesting to do this with Emacs, I'm actually going to try to not do it with Emacs. Even though we probably will start, let's just start with Emacs. So we're going to do, we need one space over here. So let's give us 10 just in case. And so then we have, we're going to do 22. We're going to type this thing. Okay. That doesn't seem like 22. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, it looks really small for some reason. So now one thing that we can basically do here is, if you can see, we got this diagonal there. So the diagonal, we could easily draw, but it's probably even better to just basically not draw it. So, however, for that we need to first create ourselves a bunch of empty lines, right? So we can easier navigate. So now we got a bunch of empty lines here, and now we can navigate. And so what I want to do is I want to basically we start with this tile, and then we go one over and make another one. We go one over and make another one, but always we'll go down. So the macro will be this. I'm going to record the macro. So we go down, one to the right, boom. That's the macro, right? So now I'm going to do that however many times I have drawn here. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in total. So we need 6 more. So we're going to do that 6 times. 6 at A. And you can see how cool this is, like how quick you can actually do a level like this, right? And then we're going to do the same, but backwards. We're going to do this here. So we're going to do QA. We're going to do a 1 down, 1 to the left, put in equals, and then we're done. And then we're going to do that 6 times. Boom, we're done, right? So now we got this part. So, and then we're going to need the same thing reversed. So how can we easily reverse it? Well, we could probably just do it anew, right? So, but for now, I actually want to now load this into our thing. I want to see what it looks. So this is what it looks like. So I think this looks pretty cool. And I'm actually going to stay a little bit in Emacs because it seems like it's very easy to work like this. So actually, I want to move this somewhere else. And there is a way to do this. I know this for a fact. So W, and there's some way to swap windows with Ace window. Ace, come on. I thought it was like, I can't remember right now what it was. That is fine. So what I can do though, I can move this. Okay, now it's gone, but we can probably also move it to the right. Okay, now what I want to do is I basically want to do the same thing in opposite direction. But first of all, I need to count off, we actually need to draw the other parts first. So we got basically We got 1, 2, 3, 4. If you can see that, we got 1, 2, 3, 4. We have to go down, and then we're going to have to draw left and right. And then once we got symmetry, we basically are pretty good shape. So somehow my empty lines don't really spread till here. All right. Okay, so let's keep some more empty lines. And so now what I can do is I can say I want to go down here, and I want to go down here, and I want to do that 4 times. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. So I got that. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and then basically I want to draw one more, because we're gonna, and now we're gonna go till the basically one more over from here. So we're gonna do 1. Okay, and so this is basically what we're going to replace equals. So that's also the cool thing, that we can replace things, right? And now I can copy this and I just paste it here, and now we got that part. Then I basically had, and it looks like really small in the editor right now, but I think it actually is bigger than it appears. And then we basically have a this thing kind of going on, like that. And we're going to do the same thing here, right? And those things may actually be faster done in the actual visual editor, so we may have to switch there in a second. But I just want to get basically the main area mapped out. And so I can reverse then what I did above. So now we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 14 of these guys. So we got this one and basically this one. We got 14 of those. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And then we got this thing here. So we got this basically, but reversed. So then we just do that and that. And so now we reverse this, right? And so now we basically need to do, we can now do this. It has to have the same length, like this here. Right, so we got that. And then we basically need this reverse. So we got 1, 2, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? And then we got that. So when I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we got that. And so now we can remove this thing on the bottom, and we can basically now do the same thing like we did before with the macro, where basically we're going to go. So this, by the way, I don't like, because it ended up different than I thought. I want to actually include one more here, like this. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, and so that looks better. I like that more, right? So basically, this is what we're also going to add. And actually, I want to see if I can just basically put that here, and then we'll reverse it. So we put this on the bottom. There's probably a faster way to do this, but this works actually pretty well. We could have also repeated the macro, but this is pretty quick, right? And so, and now we pretty much, this one's still missing. I think it needs to go, oh, no, it needs to go here. And so now we got this. So now we have this kind of arena, we have this level, right? And so basically now the player, and now we're actually going to go out of Emacs, and we're going to basically just work in here, I think. Unless, let's see. Yeah, let's actually try how this works in the editor, and maybe in the editor. So I'm going to, we don't want to actually close Emacs entirely. We just want to make it go away. No, we don't want to exit. Nope. Let's just make it smaller. Or maybe move this over. That's what we're going to do. So move this over here, and then actually we're going to make this big. And so now we're going to have, we can better see what place we need. So we got this. Now we're going to put our player here, and we're going to put one player here. And then we basically still need this thing in the middle, right? So this thing here in the middle, which has the space shining through. right? So we'll start out just as a square, basically. And it basically has, if you look at it as a square, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's 10 by 10. And it's basically, it starts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 over. So let's try to do that. So actually we're going to do that here. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? And then we're going to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That doesn't look right. That does not look right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's 10. So it seems like we got ourselves like a little more space somehow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so it's 1 over. It still doesn't look right. So we're gonna obviously also it doesn't, and this is kind of like where this kind of comes in useful. We can just basically and I guess I need to do my IMAP again. All right, and so now we can basically put this here. Actually, what I calculated was 1, 2, 3, 4 down. So we want to put it 4 down. 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we're going to put it here. And we kind of want to put it exactly here. So we're going to actually, all right. So now we got, it doesn't look symmetric yet. So this is, so I'm going to leave a little more space. Actually, I want to, actually it's nice to be big. So let's see. So does this now look, so this one has one more, and so let's just go over here. And this is kind of the cool thing where I can just go back and forth between these, right? And so now what I want to do, I want to go 10 down. So I'm going to take this line, and 1, 2, 3, so including this, well, let's just see. We make it symmetric. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, right, in between. So 1, 2, 3, 4 in between. So this one needs to be that. So I can just do this. Boom. Now we got the outline, and then basically what I can do is I can say I want to fill all this with equals, with my, walls, right? And obviously I could also just do this. I don't know what's actually faster. Maybe drawing is actually faster. And now I want to draw out the edges, right? The edges should be beautiful, but first what we do, we'll just draw it all black. But then basically I want to do, I don't know if you can see that, I want to get this edge here, so it's a little more edgy, and so we can easily fill this out. We could do that, or we could just say I'm going to select this, and that's probably even faster, right? And I'm going to whoop up to here. I'm going to replace it with an X, and boom, done, right? And so this kind of shows you how neat it is if you can just select which editor you want, basically. So let's actually go in here and let's do I think this needs to be like this, and then if we erase this, is this kind of what I had? No, this is not what I had. I think I had a wall here actually, and then a space here. That looks more like what I had. Okay, so then we just basically we repeat that everywhere. So we erase this guy, and this guy, and this guy, and basically just put a wall here. And then erase this guy, this guy, this guy, put a wall here. Erase this guy, this guy, this guy, put a wall here. Okay, cool. So now I got this kind of effect. That's kind of what I wanted. Actually, I probably like it more if you put it a little bit like this, and basically put space here. It looks a little more fun, I think. And so we'll do that over here as well. Yeah, that looks a little more fun. And you can see now that we made a mistake. This is not exactly symmetrical. This needs to be more, but we can easily fix that because we can just copy these lines. And that's again where the editor comes in really useful. So here we want the space, and then we want to put walls. Okay, cool. And so now we need to have this kind of like, we have 3, then we have 3 and 3. So we have 3, and we're missing basically 3 of those. So we're going to just copy 3, and we're just going to paste them here. And so now we got this symmetrical, at least I think so. And then we can basically we can basically put, nope, what just happened? That's really interesting. Oh, we put some weird, oh, because we're still in the editor. So that's obviously a thing where we have to be able to focus here first. And now, maybe I'll do it where when the mouse is over here, it'll focus automatically the editor. Maybe we'll do it like that. And so that's that. And so do the same thing and boom. And I think that looks pretty cool, right? It's almost like a circle. And maybe we can make it more of a circle if we put this like this. Maybe. And then, but then we'd have to put this like that and the wall here. I actually like that. So let's do that. Yeah. And so obviously now we have to do this as well here. So put that and then put a wall here, here, and here. I kind of don't like this guy too much though. What if I make it like this? No. Yeah, I don't like the one. I definitely don't like the one. If it's just one, doesn't make sense. Doesn't make much sense. What if I put a wall here and give it yeah, but then we end up with the same thing, just bigger. So fortunately, we can undo what we just did. So let's undo this. That's how it was. I think this is good enough. It looks kind of roundish. And the thing is, this is the entire level I wanted to create so far. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that. I'm going to copy that just in case. So I'm going to open the editor here and paste it in, right? I mean, that's how I can make sure that in case I made a boo-boo and the editor is actually not stable and will crash, which it shouldn't happen though. I got myself backed up. But by the way, the editor actually does, it does actually save the last state even without the URL. What the editor actually does, if I open this even without this level, it actually saves on local storage wherever you were. So if things crash, your level will still be there from the last time I saved it. And that's pretty much that. So now we have a mistake here, right? I just saw that. We have there should be a floor. So we should erase it. Oops, nope, here, I should erase, boom. All right, cool. So now we got this level. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to build a secret thing in here where you can basically go and you can get like little nuggets. You can get yourself some, can you see that? So basically here, right? I wanted to build where you basically can go in and you can get yourself stuff. I thought it would be fun. So, but it has to be narrow. It has to be challenging. So what I'll do is I'll put this, actually what we could do, we could make it to where you can come in and out either way. And it has this like, this area where you can basically, yeah, where you can do stuff. So we open this up. And now you can see what happens is this whole thing becomes universe because it now says, well, the level somehow is not complete. Like you can actually fly out of it. So this kind of warns you that something is not right with your level. It's kind of like a, you know, it wasn't designed with that intention or anything, but it kind of works that way. So what we want to do is we want to actually put some walls here. And so you come in like this. But then basically you're going to go, you're going to have to, okay, now this is a problem that we have. So basically what we have to do is we have to fill this out first. So there are some things that are not easily done without the editor, unfortunately still. Because the thing is there was no space here. So then if you put something here, it basically decides that it needs to go here. Because so if I put a wall here, it actually jumps to the closest thing. But and so we'd have to actually do it until we end up here, and then we can remove it again. It's not the best, but well, for first iteration, I think it's good. So we got this, and probably should go back into the editor anyways and just do it here. So All right. So here we are on the level editor. And so now I kind of want to follow with this. And here as well. So it's going to be a little tough to fly in there. So actually, we probably want to move this out a little bit. And add another here. And so let's just fill this out a little bit. And so here we want to have one. And so now we're going to start over here. You can fly over. And I have no idea why it keeps drawing this thing. Why are you drawing this? Right, so now we can have this kind of thing going on. Right? And it's almost like there's a pattern here, obviously, so that we can basically just copy and paste these things and just move them over one by one. So we can do this, right, and do that. So basically, and now we are coming together here. We need to make sure that we don't go too far, because we still have to come in from the other side as well. If that makes sense. So I wonder how symmetric this is. Maybe I could just do this. And basically do that. Maybe. Well, that obviously didn't work. So maybe here, what helps in this case, we'll just draw ourselves a wall on each end, so then we can actually edit. And maybe there's something that I need to fix there to make that easier. But basically, what we want to do, and we want to basically draw ourselves some wall here as well. As you can see, I can't move this level over, which is another possible bug, which I have to fix. I thought the level was scrollable, but okay. So now we got, now we can basically edit this. So we got, and you can see we're running already into problems here with this. So basically what we need is, we need to make this look the same. So actually we need to draw this out here as well. And so do this, right? And then we'll come, and so this is that, okay, yeah, actually, so that's how this is. And this one needs to be 5. And now basically they are coming up like this. So they're meeting in the middle. So we kind of did not that badly. The thing is though that they could have been like just space of 2, but this is probably good enough. And so now you meet here, right? And then you actually go to the right. So what's confusing is, so this actually should be like this. Right, and so I just need to do that until I reach, so and then I can just erase this part. So there's still something off here, right? You can see that, where I think I needed to come up one more here. Right, so maybe we'll come up one more here. Do it like this. Erase this. And then basically, and then you basically have to follow this a little bit, and then it opens up again. And that's basically where the treasures will be, if that makes sense. And you can also obviously hide behind here, but it's only on one side. This one will not be symmetrical. And you can see it's already a pretty big level, but it should be fun to play. It's not too much space because we want the players to actually have to meet, right? They have to meet in battle. Like, we don't want them to fly around all the time, so without meeting anyone, right? So we corrected that guy. Okay, cool. So now basically what I want to do is I want to open this up, and in a way actually what this is, it will kind of be, so first of all we're gonna clean this part up, Okay, and then we're going to take take this and then basically paste, I guess paste it here. Oh, that didn't work, we have to paste it. Yeah, something like that, right? Except should be the other way around. Should actually be pasted. Okay, that's interesting. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then here we only have 4. 1, so it's not entirely symmetrical for some reason. 1, 2, 3, 4. Even though we're starting here on the same space. So I'm not sure why that is the case. Oh, it looks like here we went one over. Did we go? Yeah. So actually this needs to be like that. Huh, odd. It's so odd. So now we get, oh yeah, because we don't have enough space. They want to meet at 1. So we have to cheat somehow to make this work. And by the way, here, obviously this one can be space. So we're just going to draw some space in here. Because the players can go in there anyways. It'll make it look cooler. Okay. So as you can see, somehow this is not symmetrical because it wants to be on 1. So the only way that we can make this is to make this also go up 1. Then it will be symmetrical again. So let's do that. And then we'll go up. Right, so let's just do that. And let's just, okay, I think this will work. So now it looks like this. And now it opens up into the basically this will be the chamber of, so this is how it's going to be, chamber of stuff, which is going to be useful to the player. It's going to be difficult enough to get there, so that's why you can basically get there to, if you're losing health, you can go there and like get more health. That's the whole idea behind this. So so basically we can make ourselves another macro. Okay, so what we actually need to do is we need to fill this up with space. I wish there was a better way to do this, but we can now make ourselves a macro. Go up 1, go right 1, and replace with equals. That's our macro. We need that maybe 3 times. Boom. And if we can do the same thing, we need to, right? And so we can make a macro, go down 1. No, that's not the macro. Let's go here. Go down 1 and to the right. And nope, wrong key again. Okay, let's try this one more time. Up, up, down 1 to the right, and then replace with an equals. That's our macro, and then we do that 3 times. Boom. And then here we just didn't have this ready. Okay, so now I need a little space to put stuff. And the same here. And then we basically just need to okay, so this is not working well because there's no space. Just gonna do if I go, yeah. What happens if I do this? This is not working. So actually, what we need to do, we need to fill in. We need to fill in space. I wonder if there's a better way to do that. Right? If there's a better way. And also this is like only possible from the error, so it's really tricky in the game. And so it's not ideal. But what we can do now, we can just go down here and replace with equals. And so here we still missed some. Boom. And so this will be the secret chamber. Interestingly enough, it wants to draw floors here as well. And so what we need to do, we just need to fill those in with nothingness. It will do this if there's no wall to the kind of to the right, like if there's nothing more, then it will automatically know that there's space. And this is kind of useful to have that level editor be implemented in the using the same code that actually then derives the level on the arena. Because now we can basically see problems with it immediately before even running the level. We can see that there are some things that are not ideal yet. So let me do this, and we draw this around. I guess we could write a routine where if it's surrounded by space, it'll have to be space, but it works. Okay, cool. So now this looks kind of beautiful, I would think. This is an interesting level. And so basically here we will put little energy things like, you know, if you run out of health, you can collect some health here. You can go and get a shield. So this is kind of like the treasure trove of this level. We'll put some around here as well, but we'll put basically like, maybe we'll put like a lot of shields, or we put like a longer shield, something like that here. So at this point, I would say, I'm gonna kind of copy that and put that into my Emacs. Okay, so we got this saved, and it'll open up, and it will we can verify that it's still the same. Something I don't like here is that it's just suddenly, but it's fine. It's just suddenly so cut off, but I think that'll work. Hey GeoSoftware, I'm just seeing your thing right now. I'm demonstrating the level editor that I did for the game, and actually we're going to run the game right now. So actually you joined at the, I don't know when you actually asked this question. I'm just seeing it now, but you joined at a good time because we're actually going to now load this level into the game, so you can actually see what this will look like. And time for convex hull detect. I suppose this is like related to what I just said. Yeah. Yeah, we can always do things better, but the thing to learn here with this level editor is like it works, right? And so I could spend more and more time making this more and more magic, but in this case it works. And anyone who has this URL, which I'm actually going to post this URL, the whole URL, so people can actually jump to the exact level we're working on. Boom. I wonder, it looks like I can, it looks like, let me actually click on this. Yeah. Did not like that. So Twitch doesn't like this long URL, but you can always then here go to square, and it will give you a square level to start to play with. But that did not work. We could obviously like put this on Bitly and kind of still share it like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually put this level into a level. So we're going to take this this whole thing. And we have a multiplayer level, and I don't like it. It's not good. So we're going to actually swap that out with the level that we just did. So this one is defined. Yeah, see, that's the weird thing. The levels I'm defining in core, which is fine. But so we got the simple level, and it's really simple and boring. And so we're going to change it to be this. And so now we can also call this, I'm going to call this face off. Face off. And so now we actually need to go into multiple places where these levels are loaded. So obviously we're going to rename it. So let me see how I can rename files again. Rename. And we're going to name it face off. All right. And so did that work? Okay, so now I got faced off, and obviously now in the levels, we need to change that. So let's see. To find, so this is where the This is the level, okay. And this is the levels. And it's already telling us that it cannot find this. It's because it's no longer there. It got replaced by something better. And the cool thing is that this is all server dictated. So even if clients still running an old app, the levels actually come from the server. So once we go and we update the server, it'll actually, all clients will automatically have access to this level. So what are you complaining about now? Okay, it's never reached yet. So basically we need to do this. Do the same here. All right, so now we got that level. And I think this should be all that's needed. And unfortunately, we can try this real quick because we can restart the server. The server will actually already complain if it doesn't find something. So it's running fine. So actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the client and I'm going to launch IDEA. Interesting enough, it got a connection from somewhere, which I have no idea where, unless we are running some version somewhere. But anyways, so now I'm going to go, and by the way, what I'm going to do though, I'm going to have to restart the server because right now we just want to try this out, right? So what I'm going to do is, yes, you're confused. You're very confused. What in the world? Oh, I put it here. Oh, that makes sense actually. So we renamed the wrong thing. Oh no, hold on. The face of, yeah, that's actually, that's all good. It's all good. It's all good because the simple one, well, no, actually the single, that was this, yeah, that wasn't supposed to be like that. So the face off was supposed to replace the simple level, which it did, and then I renamed the wrong one to, yeah, so I renamed the wrong one. This one actually needs to be single player. And then this one, the simple one, needs to be actually face off. Okay, so now let's see what we have. How we're doing here. The levels are their own files. They just happen to be it doesn't matter when it comes to, yeah, so basically let's just undo everything we did here because this wasn't right. Single player level should be fine, and so we should replace this one. So the levels are their own files, but obviously you could argue that they should be text files, and I would actually agree with that. It's just that I haven't gotten around to this, doing this yet. The reason why I like it this way is because here I can also define the name right away. Obviously you could derive it from the file name, but now you limit it on what you can call these things. So I could go either way. For now it is what it is, and it isn't what it isn't. So I think this works now. In the meantime, probably our client launched, or didn't it? Okay, we didn't start it yet. So we're launching the client. And so we can try out our level. Now we should actually see this face of level. Oh, but I wanted to actually do, why I actually wanted to go there is because I wanted to replace this one player with nothing, so it becomes automatically a single player level, and we can just try it out. Obviously, you could also try with 2 players, but we may not want to. So here we got our game. Let's go play, and we got the face-off level, and it says 0 of 1 because we changed it to 1 player, and now we are in that level. And now we can play it. We can try it out. See how it is. So it actually, wow, it's pretty tricky, right? You have to actually be really careful. You like it, Geo? Geosurfer? So this is like, so this is where the other player would be. And by the way, we can go full screen. And so it looks even cooler like that, I think. And I'm gonna brag a little bit, but if you look at the CPU usage, it's freaking small. This is a game, 14.3%, and this is in debug mode. I jumped through a bunch of stuff to make it like that performant, with kind of canvas tricks, basically drawing these things once and then storing them for next time. And so now you can see, like, then you would try to get here, you can see it's actually kind of tricky. So you probably hurt yourself trying to get there even. And then finally here you can get your health potion, and you can tank up on the health potion, and then you can go back to where you were, and you can go back to fighting. And so now I'm seeing that maybe this is a little bit too tight. What do you guys think? I think it's a little tight. This part is probably fine to be like this. I don't know, maybe. I'm thinking that maybe we need to make it a little bit bigger, because this is just freaking annoying like that. But basically that's the game. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to turn sound on and show how this would actually work with sound. So here you got sound. Oh, now I went into the other level, face up level. Well, the controls are on purpose like this. So whether can you hear this? So there you go. And if I actually shoot further in the bullet hits further away, you can hear it more quiet, right? And if I hit close, it's louder. So even it's like audio spatial. Anyhow, so the control could be tighter. Well, the thing is that the idea was to have it like a real spaceship, right? You cannot just go left and right. You actually rotate left and right, and then you kind of accelerate with the thrust, and that's how you control like a real spaceship. So I kind of like that, because that's the challenge of the game. Otherwise, it's just like any game where you just fly around and shoot people. I wanted it to be different. And obviously, that's not an original idea. I think there were other games like way back. And actually, this worked pretty well. I got through pretty well. Maybe I just need to learn this. So maybe it's actually fine. Let me try this again. So, I mean, what I'm thinking is we could make this longer, but then the whole level needs to be bigger. Is there a change in momentum? Well, I mean, it's basically, it behaves like a spaceship, right? It's basically, once I'm like accelerating in this direction, see, now I can do this. If I'm like smart about it, I can actually just correct my direction like that. And right, obviously, if you're fighting with someone, you're probably going to be panicking. But you can see I can actually make it through here. And it's probably not that bad that you keep hitting things to get there. So basically, the idea is that you'll fly by here, and you're like, oh wow, look at all these portions over there. I want to get there, and then you kind of like trying hard to get. Also, I don't want to get. So what I could do is like we could make the level a little larger, and then this could be one wider, and we could basically go in further. But then you couldn't see it. The navigable zone is 1.5. Okay, that's an interesting point. So here you could say it's 2 across, right? But why are you saying it's 1.5 across? Because if I take this at right, it's here. So basically, if I fly here, I can basically get by here, right? So I can get from here to here. I mean, you could make it one more, but if I make it one more, now everything has to shift over. Otherwise, it won't work. So basically, we'd have to put this lower and move this over, and put this lower and move this over, which is possible. Let's try it, shall we? Let's try it. Cool thing is we won't even have to restart the game. We can just basically swap out the level, restart the server, and go. So here we get the level. As per popular request, we're basically going to move this one down. Oh, actually not down there, but here. And obviously this one has to go away. And then this one Well, this one I have to just change. So this is kind of cool that we actually ended up with this. So we just have to put an X here and an X there, and then remove these up to here. That's kind of where it really is useful to have an actual editor. So did I actually change anything? A triangle wall. Triangle wall. Oh, you mean like making an actual wall that is triangle, right? Like this, it's cut off here. Currently not part of the game. Yes, and I totally agree with that though. I'm basically right now getting away with just using just tile stuff. And so also I only have to detect if the player is actually inside this tile, right? I don't have to detect if the player should still be able to move here, which is possible, of course. But right now the game having all these collisions and stuff kind of tile based makes a lot of things easier. Also for bullets, right? So now the bullet obviously doesn't want to hit, like if it's a triangle based like this, right? It would look stupid if the bullet hits here or here. So I make my life a little easier by not having triangle based walls. Just put it that way. So now what we can do though is we can use the magic of an editor, and we can just basically move this one over one. Boom. All right, so we moved that over, and then obviously now this needs to become that. And so now this pathway here, I guess I need to, yeah, I'm using a different editor version, so I need to IMAP my JK again. Okay, so okay, so that's what that will look like now. So now you got, did we end up with the same thing? Hold on. Did we just end up with the same thing? I have two now. I have two here as well. So, no, hold on. No, we did end up. We have one more, right? Am I just seeing crosswise or something? Oh, it's because like this moved over, so now we have two, but we have like full two. So you were totally right that we have 1.5. So now I understand what you were saying, because these are kind of like not aligned like this. So yeah, so this will be much better. Totally agree now. So let's move this over, and then this as well. And I'm really liking the fact that I made this basically editor based, because it makes these things like so much easier. So now we got this. I think now we got what we wanted. And the thing is though, in my opinion, this thing is a little too short. I mean, obviously this becomes a space here. And then this gets moved over. Okay. I still think that, well, the entrance, well, it doesn't matter, because actually I do want the entrance not to be 2D, because I want people to be able to be here and maybe be able to peek over here and see, wow, there's a lot of stuff there. Obviously on a phone you won't see it anyways, but that's pretty much it. I mean, I think this level is done. I don't want to screw it up anymore. The level is good. Unless you have another idea, I'm just going to call you Joe Geosurfer, right? Just because it's probably the best way to pronounce it. So let's let's go. Let's go down here and just put that. Okay, cool. So we got that. Now we're going to just remove that player again just to test it. And restart server, and then we don't even have to leave the game. We can just use the same game. And but we have to go back to the home screen, so it refreshes the levels. So, or at least I think so. Might not have to. So we get the face off, and so we got this beautiful parallax effect. By the way, I really like it. That's what made it tricky though to keep the game performant. Okay, so we got this. Okay, this still feels tricky, but it's much better now. You can go in here and then you can collect stuff. And I think it's pretty freaking awesome. Yeah, that all looks great, right? So, by the way, I want to point out that if you resize the window, all the planets and stars change. So you get a different universe every time because it's auto-generated. And basically I have like clustering going on to make it more realistic. So stars cluster together and stuff like that. So yeah, it's basically the background. And sometimes you get like weird, like maybe this is just a little bit too many. Oh, we got a mistake there. Look at that. I can actually go fly out into space now. Let's see. Let's try that. So we have an error there. Let's see. Boom! I'm free. I'm free. Yes, but I'm not really free because boom, the universe is limited. It seems unlimited, but it's not really unlimited. So let's see how free I am. Boom. All right. Leave the station behind. Exactly. Yeah. So that's what kind of like flying around like this. So it shows you a little off how the universe looks. What I want to do is I want to do a single player level where you're basically flying on things like that, and you basically there are no big platforms. You basically have like little pathways. So you're basically just like really on narrow things on top of the universe, which I think will look similar to this because it's going to be narrow pathways. But for now, I wanted to focus on that single on the multiplayer level. The single player level looks kind of okay at this point. And this is actually what I'm using to do, is a shield already, which I will put somewhere, which doesn't work yet. But basically, those, that one is kind of okay, and it's mainly for practicing. And then I want to maybe have a different level where you can actually like explore the universe. I can just follow the pathway. Obviously, I can't make it too big because the level platform is always like, a rectangular. So if you make like a bunch of pathways, it gets pretty huge. But fortunately, I only render whatever you're actually seeing. So that way, otherwise it would be crazy. How hard would a teleport be? Well, the teleport could just be something where it's almost like you have like 2 different levels, right? And when you teleport, what actually happens under the hood, it replaces the level. So then, everything that you're keeping track of. Yeah. So I agree that would be cool. Right now, that's not implemented yet, but I mean, this is like in the beginning stage still, somewhat. I want to get it to the point where it's fun to play, where you can basically shoot other people and have fun and collect things. That's like the narrow goal for now. And then obviously these kind of things would be awesome. The things what I have to do though is like if the level is big and I want to you can see that this kind of looks rasterized, the floor. What I actually do is I take a picture of the entire game for each parallax level, right? So I take a picture of this level of the stars, of the other level, of the other level, of the other level. And so now I have these huge images. And so now I basically cut out the part of the image that is currently visible and I put it there. And that way I don't have to redraw everything all the time. And that's why this looks, so if you actually resize, you can see it, like while it's resizing, you can see that it has actually higher resolution. See that? So I don't know if you can actually see it over Twitch, but not. But for a split second, it will have the higher resolution because until it has that image, it basically renders normally. And then you actually see over here that then the CPU goes up like crazy, right? Because now it keeps re-rendering all the time, calculating. But then once it's basically rendered, it takes an image. So yeah, the level's only drawn once, each level, right? So there are 5 levels. You got the stars in the back, you got the star in the middle, star in the front, you got the planets in the back, planets in the front, and so that's the back levels, the parallax effect, and then you got the actual platform. And so each level of this, except for the planets, they're actually faster to just draw. They're actually like drawn to an image, and then each image is basically just like rendered, and as you can see, the cameras, right, obviously move differently. So I have to figure out what part I have to render of the image, and where, right, kind of what's the offset. And you can kind of see that these stars kind of stop here a little bit, but that's totally fine. I think that's a cool effect. Yeah, that's basically it. And the thing is, this does not work in the browser. Like the browser doesn't have this picture recorder feature. So that's why that's why in the browser is different. And it can't perform as well in the browser right now because this is Flutter. So Flutter doesn't have this browser feature yet. But that's pretty much it. That's the game. And I think the level is pretty cool. So by the way, the website, which also has releases, is basically this website here. So you can actually download the release and you can play it. Obviously, the release will have. So this is where the game is, and actually this is where I embed the browser game. So you can actually play it right there, but you'll see that the performance is quite abysmal. But also here's a link to the latest release. So there's a macOS release and a phone release, and obviously like the level won't be there yet because the server hasn't been updated. But I'll do that basically after the stream. I'll update this level, and so then we'll have the better level. And that's pretty much it. I think this is good. We got a much better level. I'm gonna check that in. And the level editor proved really useful for that. So I'm happy I waited before editing a bunch of levels. I waited until we had that. Now we need to put the other player back in. And now you can see once I put the other player in, plays pretty well in your browser. Okay, well, I'm happy to see that. And my browser doesn't. So I can actually see, it's kind of weird. I can actually see how many games are going on, how many players. So I think there are 2 games that are stuck for some reason. But there are 2 players playing right now. So if we go into this one, it kind of plays okay. It might also be that there are some browser extensions. But what you can see is like the floor doesn't get rasterized because I'm not able in the browser to. And you can see now it's pretty bad performance. So I'm not sure if it's my browser, if it's one of my extensions or whatever. But now this one is abysmal right there. But there are the releases, which basically you can download, play on your machine, or play on Android. Yeah, Thrust is jerky. Yeah, because it's performance. You should look at your activity monitor, and you can see that the browser is actually taking a lot of CPU, the Chrome renderer, and I think it's just because drawing to canvas is not optimized in Flutter for the web. I think that's the problem, and the fact that I can't picture record. So if I turn picture recording off, even in the native app, it still performs well. It just takes way more CPU. It takes maybe 35-40%. But in the browser, exactly where I can't do the picture recording, that's where it performs worse without it. Yeah, so but basically that's it. If people want to help out and make cool levels, the animation is smooth. You don't think it's performance? Well, yeah, it actually is. The thrust is basically is an animation. So I think what's happening is we're missing frames, and so that's why it doesn't look as great. So that's why the thrust comes out weird. But anyway, so if you wanted to, or anyone watching, create levels, the level editor is available to anyone. This is basically level editor in the page, which isn't an iframe, but you should probably go to full screen mode if you do actually edit. And as you can see, it loaded this level that we just did. It's because it's in my local storage, so it just loaded it from there. Yeah, so anyone can create a level and send it to me with just by giving me the URL. So I'm gonna paste that link in. Actually, I'm gonna paste the full screen link in, which is almost the same URL. That's why I was for a second confused, but slight difference. So yeah, and just make the URL, send it somehow, and then there you go. And that's it for today. I'm going to actually so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to see that this works correctly. So we're going to just reload this again. So if you go back here, it should actually now show this. If you go back home and go back in. Okay, so it actually needs to have a refresh. So basically the client, when it starts up, it goes to the server and says, hey, tell me what levels there are there. And so, oh, I know why, because we haven't restarted the server. So now I did. Now if I go home and I go back in, it should actually now give me the updated. Oh, well, it didn't yet. Let's try again. Or maybe I actually do need to restart it anyways. So let's see. There you go. Now Face-Off has 2 players. And so now we're waiting for players. And that's why I didn't do it this way. And obviously, like, this is my local server. So if anyone wants to join, this wouldn't help at all. But it's kind of cool, right? Like when the game starts, you're kind of already on this thing, and you're like already excited. And so this is what it would look like on the phone. So it's a little different. So, and I'm actually thinking that on the phone you're at a huge disadvantage if you're playing against people that are on Mac or something, because you only see part of the field. So I'm not sure how to mitigate that, but that it is what it is. That's what you get if you try to do multiplayer things. Anyway, so this went pretty good. I'm planning on maybe doing another stream on Sunday with some more updates. So I used to do a stream almost every day, but like it turned out to be pretty boring because I was actually just coding and running into all kinds of issues, and it's probably boring to watch someone debugging their code. So I scaled back, and I'm going to only do like once or twice a week when I actually have something cool to show. So it might be Sunday, or if I don't get much done over the weekend, it'll be next Friday. And make sure to come back. My schedule is on my Twitch. And make sure to play with the release that I have, and like let me know if there are any bugs, any problems still. Obviously there are bugs about which I know, but maybe you discover some that I don't know about yet. And that's it. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll stop streaming now.